I wish we could be talking about the fungus on a pizza, but we're not. Let's talk about plant diseases. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan Bain, and this is Bain's Botanicals. Today, we're going to be talking about plant diseases. Now, most plant diseases originate from some sort of fungus. There are bacterial problems too, which is why, of course, we sterilize our pruners when we're doing cuttings and things. You don't want bacterial infections to get in your plant. But the biggest culprits for plant disease would be just different types of fungi. Now, of course, fungi are their own kingdom, in the spectrum of life. A lot of fungi used to be grouped in with plants way back in the day before they decided, well, no, they're obviously different because for the most part they don't photosynthesize, they reproduce via spores. Lots of things make them different from plants, obviously. So the fungi that we're talking about are not the kind that are mushrooms. You don't ever really see the fruit of the fungus, which is the mushroom. It's like the mushroom that you see is the spore-producing vessel. Most of the action of a fungus happens underground where you can't see it. Most of it's microscopic. That being said, the first disease that you might encounter will be leaf spot. Now, I've got a leaf here off of a gorgeous marble queen pothos that I have admired for years. It's just so beautiful. You can even see how pretty this one leaf is, minus the spots, of course. And you see that there are these brown spots surrounded by kind of a yellow halo. And even the underside, you can see that there's a lot of, not really desiccation per se, but there's some problems. Oh, there's some insects too. Huh. Okay then. So there might be an insect problem with this one too. Anyway, the brown part is kind of like the mushroom of this specific fungus, and this is where the spores are going to produce and they're going to spread. When it comes to treatment of leaf spot, the best thing you can do is, first of all, remove the leaves that are infected. You don't want those brown spots on your plant at all. You want to get rid of that. And then you want to treat it with like a general antifungal. Usually you can find antifungals combined with antibacterials. And they're usually some sort of liquid that you can dilute it in a spray bottle and just spray your plant with it. And hopefully that works. I haven't tried that personally yet, but I'm going to because my marble queen is suffering. I don't even know how this happened. Like sometimes things like this just happen, but we'll get to causes here in just a moment. Actually, no, let's just go and do that now. Most fungal problems originate from too much moisture, and this is usually from overwatering because fungi thrive in moist, warm environments. So think about like a lot of molds. A lot of molds will grow when something is nice and warm and moist. Because mold, after all, is just another form of fungi. So if you are overwatering your plants, you're going to cause a lot of problems. Leaf spot can be one of them. One of the bigger problems that you'll run into is root rot. And all root rot really is, it's a fungus. Like it's a fungus that gets in the roots of your plant because you're overwatering it and you're giving that dark, moist, warm area kind of the ability to grow and thrive and reproduce. And root rot sucks. And I think that all of us have probably been there at one point or another where we've had root rot. And in general, once you have it, you can't really salvage your plant. Like, at least not in the form that it's in. Root rot is just kind of the death of plants. Now you can take the plant out of the pot, you can cut off the infected pieces, you can rinse the roots and everything and really try to flush all of that bad out. And it might work. But typically, if the plant is just really small, you might not even want to bother with it. You might just want to get a different plant because it's such a tough thing to beat. Your best bet usually is to take some sort of cutting or some sort of propagation and just start a new plant. Like I said, you can take the plant out, cut off the bad, and attempt to salvage it, and that does work sometimes. But the problem with a fungus being microscopic is that you can't verify that you've got everything out of the way. So if you have an insect pest, which we're going to do a video about, an insect pest, you can verify that they're gone. Like you can look and you can see that there's no insects, no webs, no eggs, nothing. But the fungus, you don't know. I mean, it could still be growing and it could just come back. Even with proper treatment, it could come back. So it's kind of a bummer. It's why I'm so adamant about making sure that your pots have drainage holes. It's why I usually stick to terracotta, although that doesn't mean you're going to prevent overwatering. My Marble Queen Pothos is in a terracotta pot and it still has this problem. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet, but anyway, root rot sucks. We've all been there. Try not to get there because it's not fun. Another big one, actually this is like the other biggest one, is stem rot. There are some fungi that just attack kind of the stems of plants. And you see this, well, I don't have any examples, but you see this more in cacti than anything else. Because when you think about the body of a cactus, whether that be a barrel cactus, an opuntia, a cereus, like a column cactus, the body of the cactus is really just a modified stem. Like it's a stem that has evolved over time to retain water. And the spines are modified leaves that have been they've evolved to not only protect the plant, but again, retain water. That being said, when you get stem rot on a cactus, it's kind of done for. And I think that we've probably all seen this. If you haven't done it yourself, you've probably seen that somebody else has done it, or you've seen it in a retail store where they just water too much. The cactus usually gets very dark and it gets very gelatinous. So if you touch it, it'll move really easily. It'll usually just tear right off. And it looks like jello or pudding on the inside, and it's gross. It usually smells really bad too, just because again it's rot, like it's decaying, nasty material, so it's going to have an unpleasant odor. Stem rot's not fun. Stem rot is another one of those things where you can salvage a cactus by like propagating it, but it's really difficult. Like it's usually more trouble than it's worth. So unless it's like something that really means a lot to you, you're usually better off just starting over. It's just a tough thing to get rid of because even if you try to propagate, there's always the chance that some of those spores could still be a problem. So try to avoid, it's a lot easier to avoid overwatering a cactus because you can err on the side of underwatering. Like it's easier to underwater a cactus than a tropical plant, because if you underwater a tropical plant, you're going to present other problems. Not only brown leaves, but you're opening up the plant for like insect problems because it's really struggling. So just when it comes to cactus, if you want to avoid stem rot, just hold off another day on your watering if you're worried. Let it dry out another day before you water it. And of course, have well-draining soil. You know, have any of your succulents in terracotta pots because they help reduce the amount of water retained. Just easy things like that. These things are very preventable. The leaf spot, I'm still looking into that. I don't know. Sometimes you could bring a plant in from a greenhouse, and if it has leaf spot, you're going to have a problem because those spores are going to spread. So just keep an eye out on the plants you bring in, obviously. But these are some things to keep in mind. One little side note that I do have, if you dispose of a plant that has root rot, for instance, if you're going to reuse that pot, make sure you wash it. Wash it with very hot, soapy water, and don't spray it with chemicals or anything. That's bad. Like use just hot, soapy water and wash it out really well so that you're sanitizing it. Additionally, there is a fungus that is beneficial to plants. I know I'm going to mess up the pronunciation. Mycorrhiza, I think. Mycorrhiza is actually a fungus that lives in a symbiotic relationship with plants because they both benefit. Usually you only see this used outside. I don't know if you can use mycorrhiza on houseplants or not. I've never heard of people doing that, but that doesn't mean that you can't. It's usually used, let's say you're planting a shrub outside or a tree. Mycorrhiza helps the roots of the plant thrive because they both benefit. They both gain something from that relationship. So a lot of people will use mycorrhiza outside to help trees and shrubs get a good start and help them root better. The reason you probably wouldn't use it on houseplants is because your houseplants are already rooted, and they don't have that much room to grow in their pots. You know, a tree is going to get gigantic, so giving it a good head start can be beneficial. Anyway, that's my rant about mycorrhiza. Just a little side note since we were talking about fungi. I think that's all I have about fungal infections, diseases, I guess. Let me know what your experience is with plant diseases, because like I said, we've all been there, and I'd love to hear some of your stories, and I'd love to hear how you remedied those problems. I know I've got a core group of people that comment on my videos and stuff. I love you guys, and this is your time to shine. You know, time to share your stories. So anyway, I'm gonna get another video out for you guys. I've been very busy the past week. I apologize for not getting more videos out, but I'm getting back on track. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.